Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Easy Reactions and Reviews. New channel to me. This was actually suggested to me by Lawrence again. I'm not going to put his name up because he sent it through Instagram, and I don't really have screenshots of my Instagram here. But this is actually a wonderful video because I did a video on how lesbian relationships are actually worse than heterosexual relationships. This gentleman actually goes over a lot of major talking points and a lot of the reasons why, and I think it's this very good reasons. So please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and let's get to that chow. It's chow time. Yeah, I'm not gonna use headphones.
Lesbian relationship.
I really hate wearing headphones. This is why you guys never see me have it on. So I adjusted all my volume settings so that where it made it so I don't have to use headphones.
Relationships are so intense because all we do is talk about our feelings. I swear to goodness, every single second you're talking about your feelings toward each other, your feelings towards something they did, your feelings towards your day. Like, it's always about feelings. So many feelings are involved.
Women.
And as usual, before we get started, shout out to our good brother, Kai Thompson. Thank you for sending this clip. Let's get to it.
I could not resist, so I had to look it up. From the Office of National Statistics, from a 2019 study, in ever-increasing numbers, we are now at a lesbian divorce rate of 72%. So the top 4 reasons that they are reporting getting divorced is feeling ignored, inequality in the partnership, adultery, and domestic violence.
Those are the exact same reasons they file for men. Actually, the first main reason is actually financial reasons. So when it comes to women, they don't care about finances. That's kind of weird.
Personally, I feel like this lends some weight to men's arguments and complaints about how women are behaving in relationships. Because when you have lesbian divorce statistics that look like that, the girls are kind of telling on themselves.
Hello, welcome to Reactions and Reviews. I'm your humble host, Eze. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show.
So
I did do a video on this before, but again, this goes in much more detail, and the gentleman goes over some really good talking points.
data coming out of the United States and Europe shows that lesbian relationships have higher breakup rates than, let's say, more formal relationships.
You can't just say heterosexual relationships.
Live-ins, domestic partnerships, civil partnerships, and now same-sex marriage have higher breakup rates than heterosexuals have.
The same way, there are problems with men. There are problems to themselves. Ain't that a bitch? You understand what I'm saying? Women complain how bad men are. But ladies and gentlemen, what are we seeing? Women...
I don't know if this is this gentleman's voice or it's AI. I love his voice. His fucking deep-ass voice, just cracking jokes, is hilarious.
Are even worse to themselves. They are worse when they date themselves. And what does that mean? What is the common denominator in all this? Women. Because wherever you ladies go, there you are.
This is the part that's going to be shocking to you. Look at what it's saying there. Feeling ignored in the marriage. Feeling ignored in the marriage. You know all that stuff that they say to men. You're not listening to me, and I don't feel that I'm being heard. Well, apparently y'all don't get heard around. I don't want to hear each other either. Apparently that's the case of what's going on. Feeling ignored. The stuff that they charge us up with. Look at all this stuff.
It makes you wonder, like, because it's a lesbian relationship, who is the one that's feeling ignored? Is it one particular one that's the more feminine one and the less dominant one? Or is it both of them that are feeling ignored because they're both women? Like, that's the question I would want to ask or, like, kind of get an answer to. Because like, it explains a couple things.
Unequal relationship. The number 2. Unequal, and I don't even know if these are in order from bad to worse. Unequal relationship. with one partner pulling the weight in the marriage.
I feel like that's most marriages. There's very few marriages, in my opinion, that like both spouses are very equal in how much they put in or how much they're pulling weight. Like most of the time, it's usually one. Most of the time, it's the male. Sometimes it's the woman. Not saying that there isn't, but like it's very normal to have one person pull more.
That's some of that, that stuff they say to us. Oh, I can do bad all by myself, or I have to work and then I have to come home and still clean up and
right.
So yeah, so apparently, it's like they got studs on the couch. They got a stud on the couch, and he's.
Even women don't like their own ways. Even women do not agree with them being so emotional. Even women don't like dating themselves based on their own characteristics, based on their own behavior, based on their own way of living, based on the ways they are in relationships. We're looking at it, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing it together. But leave it up to women. Men are the problem. And as we can see with these clips that I'm playing, that is straight up bullshit.
I'm sorry, I know that I'm bad at this anyway, yeah, but what the is up with lesbian dating at the moment? Like, why is it like the Hunger Games out here? Why are there more obstacles than none? Are you all aware that our dating pool is this big? We cannot afford to be as picky as we're being. I've had all of one interaction with a girl.
I could say this to regular women. You want to date a billionaire? And then your dating pool's like not even this big. It's like negative this big, because there's probably only like 100 something billionaires in the world that aren't married, that are single, left, that are males.
Trust me, my star sign. I told her, it doesn't bother me. And then she said, right, I'm just going to go do a compatibility check. Well, I should have known then, shouldn't I? I was setting myself up for failure. She comes back very quickly, tells me we aren't compatible, and the conversation is terminated. Right then, right there. That's it. Like, I'm sorry, I can't control when my parents decided to and I was born 9 months later. Like, also, I'm not even that into astrology, but I'm massively offended that a Capricorn wasn't good enough for her. Like, what's wrong with me?
When women go out with a man that they do not know, they take a huge risk. Men are crazy, okay? Do you watch the news? Like 1 in 5 men are violent. He could unalive you. He could RAPE.
All right, that was some stupid ass statistics. Not 1 out of every 5 men are that violent to where they're causing issues. I would say like maybe 1 out of 10.
He could stalk you. He could harass you if he feels like it. Like, it is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. When you go out with a man, you have to share your location with your mom and your friend. You have to send a screen recording of his Hinge profile and the conversation that you guys had, so that if you go missing, they have context. You have to text your friend every half an hour while you're with him to let her know that you haven't been beheaded. You have to take an Uber.
Like, women take some of this shit way too out of context, like, you're meeting in a public place majority of the time. Like, those are pretty safe places. I don't think he's gonna go behead you in front of people at Denny's or something.
So that he doesn't know what kind of car you have, just in case he's crazy. And then when you get home, you have to text somebody to tell.
And again, this is all kind of just stupid, because back in the day when people went out with each other, they would usually pick them up at their homes, knowing exactly where they live. Like, that's kind of how it always been. Nowadays, men are just too violent and dangerous to do that now. Like, all of a sudden.
Tell them that you made it home alive.
If you made it this far, hit that like button and leave a comment to trigger YouTube's algorithm. I'm a new channel and I'm trying to grow. So hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to let you know every time I upload a new video.
He's pretty big for a newer channel.
According to this lady right here, right? Whenever you go on a date with a man, that man is out to hurt you. That man is about to do this to you. That man is about to do that to you, right? And according to a lot of women in America, men are the only ones that are violent in relationships, right? Well, why don't we tackle the abuse, the physical abuse in women relationships?
Lesbians, Stop putting your hands on your girlfriend. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've heard too many stories from friends about abuse in relationships. And it seems like this behavior over time has become normalized in girl-on-girl relationships. And we just cannot allow that to continue to happen.
January 27, 2023, an article written by Melissa Kane Huckabee. And the article reads, 61% of bisexual women and 44% of lesbian women surveyed in 2013 reported some type of intimate partner violence, IPV, compared to 35% of straight women.
Ooh.
Intimate partner violence includes
that actually, this statistics actually proves that men are actually less violent than women towards our partners. The statistics proves it right here. Straight women, so they're definitely in heterosexual relationships, 35% of them. That is, I admit that's pretty high, but then, you know, what women count as abuse is also kind of iffy too. But that's a 10% less than lesbians, and fucking almost half of what bisexual women are experiencing. So,
emotional, verbal abuse, physical abuse, stalking, sexual assault, and more. So, why don't we know that queer relationships have such high rates of abuse? For starters, physical abusers are often portrayed as violent men. So, along with many other misconceptions about women loving women in relationships, many people have trouble understanding why and how this abuse may occur. It's especially dangerous when queer women themselves are conditioned to treat their own unhealthy situation differently than a heterosexual couple might.
You know, I was actually having a conversation with Lawrence about this over Facebook, and because when he sent me the video, and why it's like that, in my opinion, it's because women have never had to hold back. Women have never had to hold back against men, right? So in normal relationships or in anything, when it comes to themselves, they don't know how to hold back. Why? Because they're used to treating men a certain way. They're used to treating the opposite sex a certain way. So when it's the same sex, in their heads, why can't they treat them the exact same way? Where men, we've always been the more powerful one. We've always been the more, you know, stronger one, but we choose to not exert those powers all the time. Because really, if we wanted to beat the crap out of women, we can, but we don't. Why? Even if when things get heated, we choose not to, because men have a little bit more self-control, and men kind of understand violence a little bit better than women. Because when two men are violent with each other, it's a guarantee that someone's either going to die or both are going to be in the hospital, right? That's between men. But between women, it's usually, you know, that defamation of character, that, you know, slander and all that stuff. But when it comes physical, they've never had to hold back. They've hit men as hard as if they always wanted to. And really, it doesn't hurt men as greatly as, you know, it is. But when it comes to other women, they don't realize how much more damage they're doing. Because a lot of women really think that men or women are very similar, like biology-wise, like that.
The reason why I read this paragraph is to show that most women in America, when you say abuse, the first thing that comes to their mind is men. Mm-hmm. Men. And a lot of times, there are toxic videos on the internet dehumanizing men, speaking on how violent men are,
I mean, a lot of TV, a lot of shows and movies show women slapping the shit out of men all the time, and the men don't do anything. And it actually is a horrible thing, because it's actually teaching women, like subconsciously, that yeah, you can go around slapping men, and culturally they're not allowed to do anything, you know. And more women are realizing this, and more women are putting hands on men.
How every man in America is violent. Every man in America wants to grape a woman. Every man in America means a woman harm. Toxic videos like this one, nothing but toxic, that dehumanizes men.
We need to talk about domestic violence in lesbian relationships.
It needs to stop. This is a huge problem, and it happens for a number of reasons. A huge reason is insecurity, lack of trust, a history of abuse yourself. But no matter the reason, it's not okay. It's not okay to insult your partner, to be hypercritical of your partner, to put your hands on your partner, to financially abuse your
100% agree with her. Doesn't have to be a lesbian relationship. Any relationship. I 100% agree.
partner, to threaten to out your partner. You are not entitled to your partner's body if they say that they don't want to be physically involved in you in whatever type of way. It's underreported. You don't get a lot of support from the local police departments because the laws don't even cover same-sex relationships the way they do heterosexual relationships.
Yeah. Because the law says men are evil. Men are the bad ones. So when it comes to two women, they're like, it says men are bad. I don't know what to do.
The bottom line is you have a responsibility to yourself and to the people that you're in a relationship with to be safe and considerate and respectful.
So this is me and Janet Mock, and there's a story attached to this. So my name is Akila, and I talk about domestic violence in queer relationships. I was in an abusive relationship with a woman. So one of the tactics of abuse is destruction of property. My ex would constantly destroy my things. She destroyed my PlayStation. She would destroy my clothes. This is a tactic of many types of different abuses, mental, emotional, and financial, because she would destroy things that I couldn't replace or that were irreplaceable. So when I was in college, Janet Mock came and she was promoting her book, Redefining Realness, and I was able to get a signed book and take a picture with her. It was amazing. I felt like I learned so much. My ex, even though we were gay together in a lesbian relationship, did not like that I was around other LGBTQ folks. If I was around other queer and trans people, she thought I was cheating on her, and it would cause her to get jealous and go into a rage. Well, one day we were arguing about something I can't even remember, and she took the book that I got signed by Janet Mock and ripped out around a third of the pages. He did that because it was something I cared about. I still have this book to this day, even though there are ripped
Those are women. They really want to go for the things you care about because they really want to hurt you deeply.
pages because it's signed.
"52-year-old Nichelle Thomas was by her 38-year-old ex-girlfriend, Letitia Bell. The two had been in a 20-year relationship.
What?
The couple had been broken up for 3 years when Bell stalked and shot her in the head at a corner store in Brooklyn. During the course of their relationship, there was 13 domestic violence reports. Letitia is currently in jail.
So men are not the only ones that are violent in relationships. But I thought it was men. I thought men are evil. I thought men are the devil. I thought men just wants to grape, murder, kill, just straight up just destroy women. Any woman they come across, they want to destroy. I thought it was only men that was that way.
Honestly, something that's not talked about enough in lesbian relationships is how much domestic violence goes on. Just because we are the same does not mean that you should put your hands on me in any way, shape, or form. Like, there's no reason why you should be putting your hands on someone at your grown age. Like, honestly, have some...
It's funny. I think it's just weird that when they say it like this and they talk about it like this and, oh, you shouldn't be... But when it comes to men, I don't think very many women feel the same way.
Emotional intelligence and self-control. Like, we're old enough that if you're that angry, you should be able to leave the room. There's no reason why you should physically assault someone. And honestly, like, you know, I fought hard to be openly gay, especially because society doesn't want us to be openly gay. There's no reason why we should come out the closet and get beat up. Like, come on now.
Now, what do you guys think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Either way, leave your comments below so we can start this conversation.
Man, shout outs to Easy Reacts and Review. That was a very good video. I love that he really touched upon the violent nature of men and women. You know, both of us have violent nature. I think women have a more violent nature than men because they've never had to control that violence like men do. Why? Because if men don't control it, we'll either be dead, be put in jail, or we're probably gonna lose some limbs or get the shit beat out of us all the time. That's just how it is. But for women, it's so different that they don't understand or have the capacity to even do it. a good chunk of women at least. Please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.